bunch of eggs right in the bottom of this one. See them?
Oh, yeah, okay. Yep.
So she's in there somewhere. Me and Dave like to see the queen. Just one of the things nice about doing bees is making sure the queen's in there.
Does the queen ever leave the hive?
Only if they're swarming. The hive gets overcrowded, or I've noticed if people say that if the mite load gets too big, they'll actually split off.
See the pollen on that one? The yellow legs?
That's a perfect. That's awesome. They're really pretty amazing creatures, right?
They sure are. Yep.
And they're dying at an alarming rate that people don't realize.
And what's causing them to die?
They're seeing a combination between pesticides and mites
Let's see.
is the biggest thing. One of the pesticides like that was an Agent Orange, I think it is what is they're thinking they really haven't found it depends on what expert you talk to what actually does kill them, but whatever it is, it's not a great thing, you know. There's too many of them.
Maybe even talk a little bit about, what people can do for the bees.
Well, one thing people can do is they have certain flowers for bees that they can plant, like lavender is one of the big ones, alfalfa, white clover. Those are some nice
Now, if bees are, we're in Western New York, so are there plants that are native to Western New York that the bees here would like, or does that really not matter much?
no, honeybees, their tongues are a lot shorter than like a bumblebee. So you'll see a bumblebee on more of a flower that has a big bell on it compared to a honeybee because they can't suck the nectar out of a flower. So the shorter flowers that are flowering with thing. Look at this. Can you see it's got pollen on her wings. They get covered in, when they go out for pollen, sometimes they get covered in it. I don't know where she went now. I don't see the queen either. We're not doing good
That's a
today.
little disappointing.
Try not to smush any bees when you're doing this, but it's almost impossible with them all. One thing is in the spring where dandelions, that really helps bees. I know people don't like to leave dandelions on their lawns, but it's one of those things that they get a lot of pollen from dandelions. My old mentors used to tell me that it wasn't time to split a hive until you had enough, until dandelions were out. That was a rule of thumb, just an old wives' tale that they went by.
Now, your honey, does that tell you when you harvest it? Maybe talk a little bit about harvesting, what you do when you harvest, and then talk about like your honey, maybe the color of your honey. Does that differ based on what your bees are harvesting?
Yep. So as far as the color of the honey, in our area, goldenrod is the most prevalent in the fall where they make the most honey. And it's supposed to be one of the best honeys out there for your health is goldenrod. It usually fetches a premium $1 for goldenrod honey. Kind of a darkish orange, but it does depend on what flowers and what's out there, the type of year. If you have a really dry year, the honey seems to be darker because they tend to go to more darker plants like Chinese bamboo. As far as when we process the honey, we put it all together. So when we got done, it pretty much goes into a holding tank and it all gets blended together, so the color is consistent.
Here?
Oh man.
Come on, Maria, you can do it. One o'clock.
1 o'clock. For reals?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy.
Yeah.
They really seem to be sticking to the bottom of the frames today, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah.
She's pretty too.
Yeah. No, it's too bad we didn't paint her like we could show her how we did that.
I have the stuff.
You do?
I think so.
Oh yeah.
So you paint her?
Yes. So it's just a lot easier to find her next time. To identify her. What's your favorite color?
It's not gonna work. It's yellow.
Oh, I was hoping you were gonna say pink.
I got a yellow marker, I think. So this is a marking cage. What you do is you try to get her alone if you can. What we're gonna do is just kind of gently press her down until we get that bald spot on her. And like that. Take a paint marker, paint the top of it a little bit. We'll let her out, work around, and let that dry for a minute. This way, if you keep them marked, oh, getting it all over. If you keep her marked, then we'll know next time it's the same queen. They do this a lot down south in case they get Africanized. Sometimes the bees will actually take that paint off her too.
Pretty pink queen.
You have to be real careful when you mark them. If you get too much paint on them, some hives will actually kill them because you know, they're not 100%. They act like they're defective.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as the honey, depending on the hive, we average around 35 pounds of honey hive a year. And you know, we take it out of the bee yards, take it back to the house. We have a garage that's set up, and we have 2 extractors that you spin them around. It throws the honey outside, it drains out. Then we drain it into a bucket basically. Then we dump it into a storage tank. And that storage tank lets all the impurities like the wax or anything, honey pushes it all up, the honey stays to the bottom. We actually put it through a strainer, and the strainer is like 200 or 400 microns, and that's what they say for you don't want to strain it too much to take all the pollens out of it, but you need to strain it somewhat. It's basically filtered honey, but it's still raw honey because we don't heat it up or do anything. We don't need to go through the second one.
No. I think we're good.
That's a long entailed process too. It's not like you got to cut the caps off or decap it so you can spin it out. Once you do that and you strain it and you put it right into the jar, it could take a couple weeks to do, 1,000 pounds of honey. The extractor takes about 20 minutes. I have one that does 20 frames at a shot. Most people 10, 12. And the bigger guys have 60 or 100 frames. Guys have thousands of hives. I think it's 10 hives or less. They usually do a 6-frame extractor, and up to 100 colonies, you can do a 20-frame extractor. And the bigger you go, the bigger they go. No.
I think we're done, huh? Are you want to do more or what?
This was really great. Thanks for helping
I think we
me
should go back to
over.
the shelter now.